What were you doing? What were you going through? What were you deciding on or handling around May 14th? This episode looks at the direct connection between then and now with a focus on the unfolding meaning and connecting the dots so that you can feel like you have a say in the choices and direction of your life. Welcome to the Horoscope Vault, a podcast that explores the world through the lens of astrology with a view to supporting you through life's ups and downs and helping you make more confident decisions through each chapter. I'm Charlie, an associate member of the American Federation of Astrologers and astrology reader for Radio's The Bob and Sherry Show. This is your Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde episode. Let's make it make sense. So the Sun is the more fiery, biggest ball of energy in our solar system. It's the center of everything. And when a planet is conjunct the Sun, it doesn't mean it's literally next to it. It's just that the planet's orbits through the constellations happens to line up with the Sun's movement through the constellations too. So they both stand in the same degree of a zodiac sign, but from their respective orbit positions. When any planet shares a spot with the Sun, it is called a Cazimi. The planet is said to be in the heart of the Sun. And some say it becomes under the Sun's protection, while others say it comes under the Sun's fire. And both might be correct, but the more useful thing to know is what does it mean in terms of astrology symbolism? So that we know in science that the Sun literally empowers us. It fuels life on Earth and agriculture and such. And so astrologically, we assume the same. The Sun grows, or the Sun powers up the planet that it is in conjunction with. It boosts that planet and its meaning. So if the Sun and Mars were conjunct, then it would be boosted Mars energy, which would be ambition. If the Sun and Saturn were conjunct, it would be boosted responsibility. When it comes to the Sun conjunct Mercury, we can always expect boosted information, communication, and thinking. But this Sunday, the 12th of July, Mercury is retrograde during this conjunction. So do we boost retrograde Mercury stuff such as miscommunication and confusion? Not necessarily. The Sun and Mercury made a normal, non-retrograde, forward-facing conjunction back on May 14th. So on May 14th, there may have been some revelations, some information, and the degree of which was, I think it was in Taurus, it was 23 degrees of Taurus. That degree theme was all about assimilation. It was about complex information that didn't make sense in the moment and letting it make sense over time as part of a bigger whole. So back in May, the Sun-Mercury Cazimi, the Sun-Mercury conjunction, may have been some information that was difficult to trust or you didn't take seriously. And now the retrograde conjunction of the Sun and Mercury this weekend is the moment that a penny drops. But this happens in a forced way. It's like having been full of both wonder and suspicion at the same time, but more data comes through this weekend to tip the scale more to one side or the other. So being more full of wonder or more full of suspicion. So take a look back to May 14th. Look through your pictures, your screenshots, your text message, your emails, and see what information may have been intense, overwhelming, complex, or stuff that you just didn't trust. And now Sunday's degree of conjunction is 20 degrees of Cancer with its meaning of advancement. This is building on the past. This is creating new opportunities. This is developing new projects based on what you've learnt with that information at hand between May and now. So my first question is, was there a project you were focused on back in May that lost some steam, that you kind of lost self-trust in? Now is a good time to revisit that. Was there a conversation or an argument or a disagreement of some kind, a verbal exchange back in May around the 14th that was really important to you but never really got anywhere? Now might be the time to revisit that. It could be a test that you took back then yields more answers in the form of further results now. Is there a job application, a pitch, or something that you sent back then that's worth following up with? Other possibilities are skills that you started to learn in May that become more useful now. Something you bought back in May is showing its value now. I just encourage you to look back around that date and pick up from that point now. And the weekly horoscopes for this coming week are interesting. They show how potent this Sunday information that you gain is, where the development or the realization could become something pretty intense as soon as Monday, with then a total refresh, restart with the new moon that's just a degree away from this breakthrough happening on Tuesday. And those details will be out in the Monday weekly horoscope episode, so make sure you're following the show for when that is released. But sign by sign, Sunday's Sun Mercury retrograde Cazimi has some extra nuances, and listening for both your sun and rising sign can be super helpful. For Aries, sun and rising, if you've been wondering why a home or family plan didn't materialize how you thought it would from a few months ago, then expect the missing piece to appear on this Sunday. It wasn't that the plan was wrong, it was just that it wasn't the right place or the right time. Taurus, sun and rising, a conversation has been living rent-free in your head where you thought of all of the right things to say after it was done. But this week you may get another chance at the exact same debate, and this time you are much better prepared to clear up the misunderstanding. Gemini, sun and rising, stop giving away your expertise and help for free. Whether it's advice, a skill, or just something that comes naturally to you, this week is a reminder that people see value in you, and many would happily pay for it if you give them the opportunity. Cancer, sun and rising, finish the thing. It's finish the book. If it's a book, it's not the new one that you downloaded or bought. It's the one that is half read, that's been sitting there for a while, or the one that you keep saying that you're going to read. Finish that book. Or finish the project that you were immersed in on May 14th. Maybe you put that on pause, and it's the thing, the project, the book that you started to get your teeth into, but then life got in the way ever since. Either that book or that project will be life-changing if you pursue. Leo, sun and rising, a worry that's been taking up way too much space in your head loses its grip. And the situation turns out to be much smaller than your imagination had made it out to be. So now your only regret could be realizing how much time you spent worrying about something that never became as serious as you had feared. Virgo, sun and rising, don't be surprised if someone asks you for a favor. And it could be the same person who already asked for a favor back in May, or maybe they owe you a favor from back in May. Whether it's because they trust you or you are reliable, you gave them such amazing help in a way that they feel comfortable coming back to ask you again. Maybe they ask you on Sunday. Libra, sun and rising, you've been biting your tongue at work for long enough. So this week presents an opportunity to say what you've been wanting to say, and it's likely to land very, very well or with maximum impact. Scorpio, sun and rising, if you've been waiting on some news or an answer to something during a difficult time, expect a small piece of information to come back Sunday or Monday that is better than you expected. It might not solve everything overnight, but it's definitely enough to lift yours and others' spirits and just encourage everyone involved to stay focused on the small but meaningful progress. Sagittarius, sun and rising, somebody may call you out on a habit. And they've mentioned this before. They have called you out on this habit time and time again. And you tend to improve for a while before falling back into your old routines. So this Sunday brings up another chance for you to break the cycle by making the positive habit permanent instead of temporary. Capricorn, sun and rising, you feel like a broken record repeating the same thing to someone over and over and over again. But this Sunday, you might be able to say it one more time and it lands, because for whatever reason, the person is finally in a place where it clicks and the breakthrough that you've been waiting for may actually happen. Aquarius, sun and rising, your body has been trying to get your attention, whether through a food sensitivity, through stress, anxiety, poor sleep, or other signs of running on empty. Do not ignore the signals. Slowing down on purpose is how you avoid your body forcing you to stop. Pisces, sun and rising. Good news in the family is ready to share. So it may be, I don't know, an engagement, a pregnancy, a marriage, a new pet, or someone officially becoming part of your family. There's some amazing news, whatever the announcement is. This is one of those moments where the secret is finally out. Maybe you've been keeping the secret since May, and everybody gets to celebrate. Again, listen to the relevant signs for your sun and rising signs. I'll be back with the weekly horoscope on Monday. Until then, bye.